I bet you don't like awkward silence to start videos, do you? Did you feel a little uncomfortable, a little confused, wondering if it was an editing mistake, or if you're being used? Well, this is Love Potion Pop Fizz, and I have him here because it's February 2017. What is going on? Let's see, today... Oh, Constitution Day in Mexico. Quite festive, I believe I had some tacos. Look at this, though. Family Day in Canada. I guess that's British Columbia. Family Day, really? Is that a thing? Do people like not have to go to school and work on Family Day? I have never heard of Family Day. Moving over, it is now today, the 15th. It's National Flag of Canada Day. I'm not sure why that couldn't be Flag Day. Keep it simple, but National Flag of Canada Day. I will have to get confirmation from Ethan or something and see if these things are really things or not. It's interesting. Maybe Speedy would know as well. Anyway, it's the 14th or Hallmark Day today. Well, it was. It's currently the 15th because I do everything super late at night. But what happened? This guy right here, Mr. Pain-Yatta, he is currently and probably likely only going to be sold on Amazon the way things seem to be going. I do think people found a leak where he had a single pack. Honestly, I don't know why you would pursue him in a single pack, because in this combo pack that we've got here, you get Pain-Yatta and a creation crystal for $19.99. Put him at $14.99, put the creation crystal at $9.99. Be smart, add a penny to each. You're basically sitting 15 and 10 for 25, or the package for $19.99, 20 bucks. You're saving $5. I don't know how this is a bad thing. The only way it would be a negative is if you just don't have any desire to buy from Amazon or something. But it's been in and out of stock pretty much since it started. And it was a couple... I tried to get it on my birthday, and of course it doesn't exist locally. I went ahead and I ordered it. It was supposed to ship on Valentine's Day the 14th. Hallmark Day, whatever you want to call it. And what happened... It actually shipped I started to ship last Friday, and then it really shipped on Sunday. I guess UPS does that or something. And it was supposed to arrive today, the 15th, and instead it showed up at work today, or, you know what I mean, the 14th. To me, until the sun comes up, it's still the current day, so technically this is still Valentine's Day to me. And what says I love you more than Pain-Yatta? I don't think anything. So, if you're not aware, he's a Magic Element Skylander, so we of course have Mysticat, who I will upgrade. His introduction, if you have not watched it, it is one of the most puntastic ones they have done to date. You kind of have to have like a little, I guess, I don't know, it depends what kind of music your parents listen to if you're younger, and if you grew up in a certain era, or you're just a music aficionado, you will thoroughly enjoy it. I think most people, it just sails over their heads. I tend to pick up on most of these things, I think, and that one is quite interesting. I will say that. Our other Magic Element character, Buckshot. Now, you want to talk about a heartbreaker. Shot through the heart and you're to blame. You give variants a very bad name. This guy, he was supposed to be our Valentine Day alt deco. He was to be the Love Potion Pop Fizz, if you will. Personally, I always said Dr. Love, which would be an alt deco of Dr. Crankcase, was a fantastic idea. The other thing that kind of spurned me about Heartbreaker Buckshot, we never got Cupid Flameslinger back from the Lost Island days, which again, that would have been a fantastic Valentine's Day alt deco. They didn't really do one back in that era, so... nonetheless, a lot of people said he looked evil. Some people, which he kind of, to an extent, but I had zero issues with him. And true story, this past weekend and during the week, I tried to find a second Buckshot. What I was going to do for you people of the internet that are still watching my channel that gets cross-promoted over by all of the multi-channel people, I was going to custom paint this guy, and we were going to make our own Heartbreaker Buckshot. I still may do it. If, I don't know, you feel like a sleazebag when you ask for a certain number of likes, or at least I do. I guess I haven't sunk to that level of stupidity just yet, but if I get enough people that actually leave comments and tell me that you want to see Heartbreaker Buckshot, if I can find one on sale, because I ain't paying $15 for it, if I can find one on sale, I will attempt to create Heartbreaker Buckshot. It was something I planned to do. It was going to be my Valentine's Day gift to every one of you. I can't paint it if I don't have it. And I don't want to paint this guy because if you were in GameStop like I was trying to hunt this guy down and I was like, hey, can you pull that up? And they're like, I don't even have Buckshot. Well, here it is. It says discontinued. I'm not trying to put fear in your hearts or anything. But if you want Flarewolf, if you want Buckshot, I would pick them up when you see them, particularly if there's a decent sale going on. In the GameStop system, pretty much all of the new characters from the latest wave ring up as discontinued. It's not out of stock or shipment coming soon or Tuesday or available in this store or online. It's discontinued. And they've done weird things in the past, but that's somewhat alarming. So again, take that for what you will, but if you see them and you want them and there's a sale, I advise you to pick them up now. If you have a child that's going to have a birthday in a few months, or you wanted to give them away at Easter or something, whatever it may be, if there's a sale, take advantage of it, get it while it's available. Same thing with Pain-Yatta. There's a lot of uncertainty in the future, and show your support for Skylanders, but most importantly, don't do anything that you will regret, which is bypassing these when they're sitting on the shelf readily available for you. So, but again, the point here, if you want to see me create Heartbreaker Buckshot, let me know. If I could have found a second one, it would have been done. My Toys R Us didn't have them, none of the GameStops had them. I couldn't do it. Otherwise, you would have seen that video. I would have released it like, I guess yesterday, probably the 13th, because I'm cool like that. But I don't know that I'll go like the full-blown exact replica. I might kind of creatively interpret it my way, but it would still be Heartbreaker Buckshot. So let me know if you want that. I will try my best to make it happen for you. That said, $19.99, which again, I think is actually a pretty legit deal. Pain-Yatta and a magic creation crystal. It's interesting because in the adventure packs, they sort of spice it up and you don't get the matching element. This is the first tandem double pack, combo pack, if you will, that I've had. Combo pack right there in front of me. Wasn't looking. I was casting my gaze off to the side as if this was an album artwork shot. But I have to say, I've heard good things about his figure. People are loving it. There is an alt deco. It's not really an alt deco. It's more of a chase variant, candy, if you will. A lot of people, to me, chain reaction, and I dubbed this myself, is Orange Crush chain reaction, right? Barbella had one. I think hers was pink. I think this might be purple. Don't hold me to it, but it's like a full translucent. It basically looks like a giant Jolly Rancher, just shaped like Pain-Yatta. It's something that would sell on eBay for a lot of money. If it was in fact a purple or grape translucent Jolly Rancher. But nonetheless, you can find pictures of the thing. But that is an option if you're some super hardcore Pain-Yatta person. Be on the lookout for that. Although, I guess at this point in time, it would have to come through European transit or Amazon shipping. I don't know. Things have gotten a bit crazy here. But, Pain-Yatta, there is a hyphen there. Magic Element Smasher. Sensei and Creation Crystal Combo Pack. And again, we get a Magic Creation Crystal. I think this is actually a pretty good deal in my opinion. I can't stress that enough. If you're saving money on the crystal that you probably wanted anyway, get this. If you could care less about the crystals, you can hold out for a single pack. But you may very well regret it if it's never produced or comes to the light of day. So keep all that in mind. Again, lots of uncertainty around the Skylanders community right now. There he is, inset artwork. I wish they would have done a side profile. I think it would have shown his colors off a little bit better. Sensei Skylanders unleash almighty Skychi powers, unlock gear and weapons for your Imaginator Skylanders. Also featured Bad Juju. I get a lot of hate because I'm not a big fan of hers. I was when she was a sorceress, and then she became a swashbuckler. And it's mainly Bad Juju that annoys me. Master Flarewolf, she looks amazing, though. I'll give her that. Grave Clobber should be coming out soon. Master Buckshot. Interesting there. Water, Life, and Undead Creation Crystals. So, also of note, today, I believe it was today, Valentine's Day, I guess it's a gift from Toys for Bob and Activision to us. They've updated Skylanders Imaginators, that's right. And I won't spoil it just yet completely, but if you explore the map, the MAP, whatever you want to call it, you might find some new items of interest, perhaps even a chest, something along those lines. So again, I'll probably cover that in my next pickup of the game. But I wanted to give you a heads up if you want to explore it yourself. Again, the packaging on these absolutely fantastic. That's what's sad to me. Like, they have nailed the packaging. This puts, like, really, really high-end stuff, you know, whether it be die-cast or, you know, high-end collectible display-only type figures or whatever you want to call them. Kind of puts them to shame. It's at a very low price point. So, again, they deserve a lot of credit for that. I don't know that there's, like, national awards for packaging and presentation. Totally unbiased here. These blow other things out of the water. So nonetheless, here they are. We're going to free them from their plastic coffin, if you will. Let's go ahead. I like to split it at the 45 when possible. I also like to pay attention to the figure. The point of weakness is probably the lollipop. So we might start working it out. Beautiful. And smooth as butter. That was not. There's our creation crystal, and here is Pain-Yatta. Kind of a Pain-Yatta to get it out of there. So, this is the man of the hour. This, when I was taken out to E3, and me and Paul, P. Diddy T, I said, hey man, I was here last year. If we go to the Nintendo section, we get to spend a lot more time with the game, and they've got all these product reps in all the booths, and we can just drill them with questions instead of standing in line. And he was like, oh, okay. And we went. And every single person was like, you got to play Pain-Yatta. Keep in mind, this was Trap Team, so they had little traps there, and I was like, you got to play Pain-Yatta. My reaction and my thoughts going into this, and then what he told me at that point in time at E3, when we were discussing things, it's like, this would be, because we, you know, unlike other people, we're supposed to be covering things, we were asking questions, man. We were making some progress as best we could with the strict PR. And you can tell these people, they want to give you answers, but they can't. It's kind of like been scripted. The guy we had was awesome. I mean, he cared about the game. He played the game. He loved it. He liked that he was actually talking to people that knew the game. It's kind of hard to explain unless you're there. But anyway, we got the prices on the crystal. I mean, we got pricing, all kinds of hardcore, first-hand, hardcore fans care about information right there at that Nintendo display section. What killed us, both of us had the same thing. It's like, whoa, $10 for a trap. Come on, man. That's what the figures used to cost, you know, coming from SSA and Giants. And the main thing, though, not necessarily the price point, but it was like, why can't we just have a figure? Like, yeah, Pain-Yatta's cool, but, you know, would you rather have Pain-Yatta in a little trap? Or would you rather have Pain-Yatta? You know, I think they were probably building up to this. You have to remember, Superchargers was Vicarious Visions. Previous game, Trap Team, was Toys for Bob. This is probably something they wanted to introduce. It was a great concept. The traps, I wasn't a huge fan of. I had a bad feeling about them. But this is the payoff. I said this with the starter pack unboxings and Wolfgang. This is what people wanted. The figures of the villains. Whether they're good guys or bad guys, this is what people want. I still, as I stated in my channel update, which if you didn't know, people are like, hey, why aren't you talking about no new Skylander game in 2017? I did. It's in my channel update. I don't resort to clickbait. Just it flowed well with what was going on. 6 years on YouTube happened this week. 9,000 subscribers happened late last week. And the news we got from Activision was on the 9th about, hey, you know, no new game. So it's all in one video. If you don't care about the start of it, just skip a little bit into it and you can find my thoughts on Skylanders 7, no new game this year, all that stuff. One of my things, you know, you can take it in the most literal doom and gloom way possible, which we get new adventure packs and new characters and be like, that's the 5 characters that are left. That's the adventure packs we know of. There's debate right now amongst the hardcore fans whether there's, you know, like a third kind of hard to see adventure pack on the map right now. But I will tell you this, being an optimist, I come in and it's like, hey, let's think, if they really extend this, maybe they're just developing a fantastic game for 2018, early 2019 possibly even, and they're just going to feed us some pretty decent DLC in the meantime. What would be the coolest thing that could happen? I'm sitting here, my mind starts conjuring up Broccoli Guy figures, Chill Bill, Chomp Chest, which is figure, I think it would look good. It wouldn't be quite as visually impressive. Just having him in the game again would be quite enjoyable. But a Broccoli Guy figure would just be so freaking awesome. Chill Bill, I think, would pose quite well. I will say this, out of the remaining characters, Tide Pool, I could see an adventure pack based around her, sort of like an underwater or watery themed one would go well. Who I think would have the most probability for an epic adventure pack is actually Blastertron. If you go back to like the Future of Skylanders, Wolfgang, kind of sort of like a space age futuristic society, that has a lot of potential. But again, being an optimist and saying, hey, what if we really get, come October, what if there's a couple of new senseis, 2 new adventure packs, and, some villain senseis or something. Picture, if you will, a Broccoli Guy. I mean, Chaos's figure is cool and everything, but Broccoli Guy, that would be like the bee's knees for me. He'd have to be exaggerated in height perhaps a little bit, but he would be amazing, I have to say. Personally, I still hold out for like an interjection of battle mode, perhaps, an online. I'd like to see something come back to the PC. If you weren't there in SSA Spyro's Universe, I had a ton of fun on that thing. And it's sad to have sort of seen that regress. So, nonetheless, I won't dwell too much on that because Pain-Yatta is in hand, but you've hopefully been paying attention to this guy because he is a masterpiece. Now, going back to E3, you gotta play Pain-Yatta. That Seinfeld episode, you gotta see the baby? It was everywhere you went. Anyone that was like paid by Activision, manning a booth, or roaming the grounds, have you played Pain-Yatta yet? Pain-Yatta, Pain-Yatta, Pain-Yatta. It kind of made me get sick of the guy before I ever even played him. I'm like, they're trying too hard to hype up this one character. And I'm sitting there like, Wolfgang, that's who I'm interested in, man. Show me some Wolfgang action. But seeing this figure in hand, this is what Paul and I wanted to see when we saw the Traps at Trap Team. And I think it was probably in their trajectory. I don't know if they ran out of time. I don't know if they were testing the waters. I don't know if it was just the timeline of evolution, like, hey, we're going to slowly introduce this and bring it about to fans. If it was like, we don't have time to do this, we're going to have to wait. We're so sad, but this is not a bad temporary fill-in type thing. But what we get here is nothing short of amazing. So I'm pretty stoked to have this guy. I wish, just like with Boom Bloom, that there was a way to pick up another one in a single pack, maybe at a lower price. But Pain-Yatta, his slogan, are you ready for this? Let me crank my volume up. It sounds like, what's his name, Bobcat? The guy that does Pop Fizz? Is it Goldwaith? Is that how it's pronounced? I remember him as Mr. Floppy from Unhappily Ever After. It was sort of like a Married with Children spinoff. Most of you probably don't know either of those shows, but that's where I know the voice from. Most of you, though, will know it as Pop Fizz, but I feel like this is his voice. I've not researched it, but let's see if you can hear it better now.
So long, sucker! So long, sucker!
If it's not, it's somebody that sounds just like him. I'll say that. Perfect slogan, I must say. That said, power, keep in mind these stats are meaningless. They're just here, so I tell them to you, and there's no card. So power, 200 out of 350. Armor, 200 out of 350. Speed or agility, 150 out of 350. Maybe he gets cranky and can move a little quicker, sort of like in Trap Team. And then luck, 350 out of 350. This guy must be a cash cow. Growing up, Pain-Yatta's best friend was the legendary Unicorn. That's right, Unicorn. Uno, if that makes it easier for you. Not uni, but Uno. Unicorn, a unicorn with a churro horn. That's right, you may recall this guy from Trailblazer's story that sprinkles magical cinnamon from time to time. While the cinnamon donuts for breakfast were incredible, being so sweet and delicious made them both easy targets for those looking for yummy treats. But Pain-Yatta had no problem protecting the both of them with his giant sucker. So, lollipop sucker, pick your poison there. One day, however, the unicorn went missing and Pain-Yatta was beside himself. He tried desperately to find his buddy, but to no avail. That's when the Doom Raiders tricked him into thinking that the Skylanders were behind it all. And Pain-Yatta fell for it hook, line, and sinker. He joined up with the band of villains and ventured out to get revenge on the Skylanders, but was eventually captured by the Trap Masters. Master Eon explained that the Skylanders had nothing to do with the unicorn's disappearance and said he would help Pain-Yatta find his friend if he became a Skylander sensei and trained new Imaginators in the way of smashing. Pain-Yatta agreed, and the search for the missing unicorn continues. Fantastic job. We got not only the background on Pain-Yatta, we got why he became a Doom Raider, we got why he reformed and became a Skylander, and just like the quintessential classics from SSA, you think back to Igniter and Hex and Gilgrunt and the Mermaid Chick, he has a purpose. He is driven, in everything he does to find the unicorn. Put him and Trailblazer together, and we can create worlds and realms and adventures, all kinds of possibilities. That is what I love. That is a perfectly crafted story. It's not rushed, it's not cut, there's no missing explanations. It's well thought out, it explains what we need to know. Everyone is happy. I wish more of them would be done in that same manner. So, nonetheless, here he is. Note the one tooth. Quite fitting, I must say. Around here, I'm here in Texas, right? Not too terribly far from Mexico. But I don't know if it's like this everywhere. Like, I don't know if you can go to North Dakota or, South Carolina or Idaho. But where I live, you can walk in pretty much any grocery store and find a piñata. And I don't know. I don't know if that's like a cultural thing or just, hey, I'm close enough to Mexico that, these are so heavily requested every weekend that they stock them type of a deal. But yeah, if you were here with me right now at 2 a.m. and we said, hey, I feel like I want to bust open a piñata. I'd be like, well, hey, let's go to the store. And we come back with a piñata, and we fill it up with candy, and then we go hang it up in a tree, and then we start swinging at it in the dark. Because I'm in Texas. But I'm kind of curious, like if you're in the Northeast or the Northwest or California, I could see California having them. Particularly Southern California, but I'm kind of curious, like, what is the regional range in the sales of piñatas? This is the thing that was going to keep me up tonight. I'll probably be researching when I have this thing rendering out, but if you don't mind, in addition to the Heartbreaker Buckshot quandary, let me know, can you purchase piñatas in your area or not, and where do you live if so? Nonetheless, sorry for sidetracking. Classic coloring though, you've got the bright blue, sort of a sky blue, you've got sort of the light purple, almost a pink color, orange and yellow. I kid you not, the vast majority of piñatas, whether they're donkeys or clowns or some shape, this is the coloring. So I don't know if the person that created Pain-Yatta, like researched them or ran to the store and looked at them, but this is pretty much what it is. So the lollipop or the sucker, red and white, sort of a quintessential color scheme. They could have done something different with it that would have been a little bit more brighter and vibrant, like a blue, yellow, and white. A lot of times on this style of lollipop, which I know you call it a sucker, whatever you will, I think I've had this debate before. And I think I learned what this was, and I don't remember. But anyway, we'll call it a sucker. I know I remember distinctly researching this one late night. But anyway, a lot of times, like where it's the white, they would have like auxiliary striping, if you will. Anyway, and it might have something to do with the twirls. I think like maybe a lollipop is typically... I don't know. I swear I remember it, but I don't remember it. Like, I remember researching it, something about the stick or the confectionery consistencies or something. Anyway, whatever. I'm kind of thinking like they could have done a little bit more there, sort of make it stand out. Maybe a different base color would have done a good job of that. But it does look somewhat realistic, sort of like old Christmas candy or something. Something just fell off of the base into my hand. Don't know what it is. There's a Magic Element logo. Paint? Glue? I don't know. Yeah, that looks like just the blue paint, man. So maybe this guy was rushed. I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely like paint, sort of chalky. Does it smell bad? People have been asking. I can't really, to be honest, I can't really smell well right now. Sadly, I was around somebody that was a smoker earlier, and that kind of kills my sense of smell. But bottom line, he looks awesome. He's got a great background story. If you want him and you don't mind ordering from Amazon, the $19.99, which is not a sale price, that's just standard MSRP, that's a pretty legit deal because you're saving $5 because you're not only getting Pain-Yatta, you're also getting the Magic Creation Crystal. This has a very nice paint on it. It's a little bit darker than the base there. That's interesting. I don't have the old Magic Crystal readily available. I would almost swear that it was this same pale purple. And this is a deep purple. See what I did there? Anybody knows what I'm talking about, leave me a comment, let me know. But yeah, I would say this is more of a deep purple. Very cool look. It's actually sort of got like a triangular deal. Got our blank side here. You know what? Okay, there is a sticker sheet. I just threw it halfway across the room. So my apologies there. It's basically going to look like this. But it would be magical, right? So a purple background. And, nonetheless, though, look at that contrast in colors. Isn't that interesting? Does that bother you, or do you think it's cool? Personally, I remember the crystals being the pale purple. In fact, I'm going to kill this camera. It's got a low battery light flashing at me. I'm going to go grab the other one, and we're going to compare and contrast. Because if I grab Mysticat, his base color matches perfectly. So the base colors of the figures themselves have not changed. Granted, I've not messed much with the Magic Creation Crystal, but I think I remember it matching closer to that, not being such a deep purple, which that's a fantastic color, but I will be back. We'll take a look at it. Alright, so I've kind of assessed it. They seem to be about the same shade. This one is an identical. This was a single pack. This is the one from the combo pack with Pain-Yatta. I will say, when I held these up close to my face, I don't know if they're designed to have like a look of wear and tear on them. I've barely handled them. But throughout this thing, even areas that I wouldn't grab, because I have big hands and fingers, it's basically like, it's almost like this was a black base coat, and then they just kind of put purple over the top of it, which would give it the darker color than the base, unless it's a different shade, and then that would sort of explain it. But you can see, I mean, like that whole bottom end is black, and then just it's not necessarily, it could pass for a patina or a weathered effect, but it could also just be like, hey, we didn't paint this very well. I'm not sure which one it's supposed to be. Given that the other crystals I've seen didn't seem to have this, even this one, which again, this might be a shade darker, but it could also, I don't know. I kind of think it is just a little bit darker, but like on this, man, there's like a streak of blue, there's the black, the top side, you can sort of compare and contrast. Do you see the difference in the tint on these? Like this one's sort of a bit brighter, it shows a little bit more of like a sky blue tone, and then this is sort of more of just, again, like I said, a deep purple. That's the way I'm perceiving it, and this has black in the backdrop, so it should look darker than this one that doesn't. I think this is a slightly darker purple. Let's get its twin crystal here. They look fairly spot on. It's kind of hard to say with the light reflecting so much. But let me know your thoughts. That is interesting. But again, look how much darker it is than the base of the figure. Very, very interesting dichotomy there. And then here, this figure also sort of looks weathered. But it's sort of, you know, the air element, sort of a sky blue. But anyway, that's something you can think about. You can pull out your crystals, compare and contrast, whatever you want to do. But hey, we can make an Imaginator. If you've already got the crystals and you're like, man, I wish I would have made a magic blank, sorcerer, swashbuckler, bazooker, whatever it may be, Getting the combo pack, you can create yourself another Imaginator. Keep in mind, you can reset the crystal via the 3DS, if you did not know. But the main highlight here, Pain-Yatta. The figure's amazing, the background story, one of the most complete that I have seen. And again, I want nothing more than to help this guy find the unicorn, and I want to do it with Trailblazer. I think that would actually be pretty dadgum cool. Quite the tandem there, I would have to say. Nonetheless, this is Pain-Yatta, and he looks quite cool. Again, I picked him up on Amazon.com. $19.99 was the price, which again, I feel is a pretty good deal. If you can't tell, I've got two figures here in packaging. Maybe you can read the name. Maybe you can take a guess at who it might be. We will open those next time. I don't know if I'll have them up next, or we might interject creating an Imaginator, or doing Boom Bloom's base upgrades, or playing another chapter. Let me know if you want to see one thing or the other. Just feel free to leave a comment down there. So, that said, we've sort of covered where I put the Skylanders 7 stuff. We had a cheesy intro. We discussed a lot of Canadian holidays I've never heard of that I need confirmation on. We talked about the regional availabilities of pinatas. We've hit on the just released update to Skylanders Imaginators. Heartbreaker Buckshot. Do you want to see me try to custom paint him? That's pretty much recapping it. So a little bit longer of a video, but hey, we had a lot of things to cover. When we dive into these next two figures, we'll try to stay more on point. But I gotta say, Pain-Yatta, they did a fantastic job on this guy. So if I'm being nitpicky, I'm only complaining about that because I think it could have been slightly better of a color match, or even translucent might have worked here. If you harken back to other Skylanders. But again, he is a smasher, so that means that he is joined by Tri-Tip, who has an alt deco, and Chopscotch, who has an alt deco as well. He's got the chase figure right now. Maybe in the future, this guy might become a little bit more readily available, or if they continue developing the game, maybe he'd get like a, I don't know, dark, or he kind of would have been a good Easter figure. Although I don't know. You go multiple ways with that. But nonetheless, this is Pain-Yatta. I think he looks pretty freaking amazing. Let me know your thoughts on him. Comment with hashtag Pinata. Let's go with that. Pinata. Well, no one would spell that right. Let's just do Pain-Yatta. And we also debated suckers and lolipops, for whatever that's worth. Oneofwisdom.com is my website. Skylander Club is the forum. Check it out. If you like it, sign up. We'd love to have you. Got a ton of polls. Anybody can vote. You do not have to be a member. MindLogics.net if you're into all things Minecraft. Be sure to check out Play MindLogics kit-based PvP. It is free. Anyone can get on and have a good time. Links on Play MindLogics there. You can also find my other videos. That said, as always, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being with me for 6 years, 9,000 subscribers, going against the grain, doing it old school. No multi-channel network for this guy. We just sit back and get cross-promoted. It's really sad. Some people that are just getting into Skylanders don't find my channel for like a year. And they're like, oh my gosh, somebody actually did upgrade videos. And that's because I get cross-promoted over. It's a lovely thing. But nonetheless, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Pain-Yatta. I will catch you back here for more Skylanders Imaginators action from the pool table. I figured I should end it with awkward silence to make you question yourself yet again. That's it. I'll catch you back here. Adios.
So long, sucker!